Good evening, I'm Roger, and welcome to NFL Trending, your destination for everything football. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most talked about comparisons in NFL history, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Both are household names, both are winners, and both have defined eras of the game. But how do they stack up at the same age, specifically at 30? The answer gives us fascinating insight into the greatest quarterback debate of all time. Let's begin with Patrick Mahomes. At age 30, he's already a two-time NFL MVP, a three-time Super Bowl champion, and a player who has redefined the quarterback position. Since taking over as the Kansas City Chiefs starter in 2018, Mahomes has been nothing short of spectacular. His arm strength, creativity, and improvisation have turned broken plays into iconic highlights. Whether it's a no-look pass, a sidearm sling, or a deep bomb, Mahomes brings a level of artistry that captivates fans and frustrates defenses. Statistically, Mahomes is rewriting the record books. Through his first 6 seasons as a starter, he has amassed passing yards and touchdowns at a pace we've rarely seen. His career passer rating remains among the highest in NFL history, and he's proven he can carry a team even when the supporting cast isn't perfect. What makes Mahomes so dangerous is not just the numbers, but his ability to deliver when it matters most. Fourth-quarter comebacks, playoff performances, and clutch throws have already built his legend. Now, let's contrast that with Tom Brady at the same age. At 30, Brady had already accomplished plenty: 3 Super Bowl titles, 2 Super Bowl MVP awards, and a regular season MVP. Brady was known for his precision, leadership, and the ability to execute under pressure. His early career run with the New England Patriots was built on disciplined play, smart decision-making, and, of course, his partnership with legendary coach Bill Belichick. But Brady's numbers at 30 were not as eye-popping as Mahomes today. At that point, he had just crossed the 20,000-yard passing mark and hovered around 150 career touchdown passes. Remember, the NFL was a different game in the early 2000s. Passing wasn't as explosive as it is today, and defensive rules weren't as favorable to quarterbacks. Still, Brady's resume at 30 was undeniable. 3 Lombardi trophies, a reputation as the ultimate winner, and the foundation for what would become the greatest career in NFL history. So how do they compare side by side at this milestone age? Let's break it down into categories. First, championships. Brady had 3 rings by 30, while Mahomes also has 3. That's remarkable, considering how rare it is to win even one. Both quarterbacks entered their 30s with the reputation of winners who delivered under the brightest lights. Second, individual accolades. At 30, Brady had 1 MVP award. Mahomes, by comparison, already has 2. He's also been named a Super Bowl MVP multiple times, matching Brady's early career clutch performances. Third, statistical dominance. This is where Mahomes separates himself. His passing yards, touchdowns, and efficiency at this stage of his career are all ahead of Brady's pace. Mahomes is simply more prolific in the box score, benefiting from a pass-heavy era and his own otherworldly talent. Fourth, style of play. Brady was the surgeon, precise, methodical, and deadly accurate in critical situations. Mahomes is the magician, dazzling, unpredictable, and capable of throws that leave jaws on the floor. Both styles win, but they win in very different ways. It's also important to consider the eras they played in. Brady's early years came in a more defensive league, where physicality was greater and quarterback protection wasn't as strict. Mahomes, meanwhile, plays in a league designed for high-scoring offenses, where rule changes benefit quarterbacks and wide receivers. That context matters when comparing raw stats. Still, there's no denying the impact both had on their teams. Brady, in his 20s, helped build the Patriots dynasty. He was the steady hand that Belichick trusted to execute game plans and elevate the roster. Mahomes, in his 20s, has already established the Chiefs as the modern NFL dynasty. He's the face of the franchise, the engine of Andy Reid's offense, and the player who makes Kansas City a perennial Super Bowl contender. Now, let's look at legacy projection. At 30, Brady had accomplished plenty, but many of his greatest achievements were still ahead. His legendary run in his late 30s, and even into his 40s, cemented him as the greatest of all time. That longevity and sustained excellence remain unmatched. Mahomes, at 30, is on pace to potentially challenge Brady's throne. If he maintains his current level of play for another decade, the conversation about the greatest quarterback of all time becomes a legitimate debate. Of course, championships will ultimately define the discussion. Brady's 7 rings are the gold standard, a record that may never be broken. Mahomes has 3 already, but the road ahead is long and filled with challenges. Injuries, roster changes, and the rise of new competition will all play a role in whether he can close the gap. Off the field, both players are also cultural icons. Brady became a symbol of discipline, work ethic, and the Patriot way. His diet, training methods, and competitive fire inspired countless athletes. Mahomes, meanwhile, represents the modern face of the NFL. He's charismatic, marketable, and relatable to a new generation of fans. From endorsements to his leadership in Kansas City, Mahomes is more than just a quarterback. He's a brand, much like Brady became later in his career. Another element worth mentioning is the supporting cast. Brady's early success was often attributed to Belichick's coaching and a strong defense. Mahomes, in contrast, has had Andy Reid and Travis Kelce as his most consistent allies. Both had strong infrastructure around them, but their roles were different. Brady was the steady executor within a system. Mahomes is the system, the creative force who dictates how defenses play. So where does that leave us? At 30, both Mahomes and Brady stand as champions, MVPs, and all-time talents. But Mahomes' statistical dominance and highlight reel brilliance give him the edge at this specific age. Brady, however, proved that greatness is about more than just numbers. It's about consistency, durability, and the ability to evolve over time. The ultimate question isn't who is better at 30, but who will have the better career when it's all said and done. Right now, Brady still holds the crown. 7 championships, unmatched longevity, and a legacy that transcends the sport. But Mahomes is on the path. He's the only quarterback in modern history with a realistic chance of approaching Brady's records, both in wins and in impact. As fans, we're privileged to witness both. Brady gave us 2 decades of excellence. Mahomes is giving us a new era of brilliance. And at 30, the comparison is closer than anyone could have imagined. That's all for tonight's special edition of NFL Trending. I'm Roger, reminding you that the debate isn't over, it's just getting started. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep the conversation going, because the greatest of all time discussion is far from settled.